I proposed to the girl of my dreams in October last year after 4 years of dating. We're a normal couple, quirky and unique. Some personality differences, but nothing we couldn't agree to work on. We even volunteered for and attended some marriage preparation courses to prepare us for living with each other and reconciling differences through communication. So far, everything was great. In March this year, I got sent away to a foreign country for 3 months. We were saddened to be separated 6 months before our wedding, but we called and texted regularly throughout. However, she was a different person when I came back, argumentative and resentful. After a couple of big fights, we saw a marriage counselor, and she went off to them about how I was boring and rigid and never wanted to try new things. She also complained that I never wanted to socialize with her friends and it was killing our relationship. I took the pointers and started working on them to better myself and our relationship, and we agreed to continue with our wedding. A couple of red flags appeared before the wedding. She used to allow me to use her phone without hesitation, and she was now defensive about it. I also found out she started smoking, which led to a huge argument. But we still worked through these things. Needless to say, the sex became nearly non-existent, and what little sex we had was completely unsatisfying. It was amazing most of the time before I left. I suspected she was cheating on me and tried my best to gather some circumstantial evidence to prove my theory. The wedding was a miracle, and everybody thought we were happy and in love. She moved in with me, and the bliss of being married made our first couple of weeks peaceful. She insisted on being allowed to go clubbing, and I allowed her to go party with her female friend. I've met her and she's cool despite my reservations about a married woman partying until dawn. However, my only request was that she inform me what time she was going to come home, and she failed to do this 3 times in a row. She went clubbing every weekend since she moved in. I got really upset at her on the first and second time, and she apologized. The third time it happened, I lost my shit and went to my parents to cool things off. She was desperate for me to come back and apologetic. I came back and began a tirade about how irresponsible she was. In the middle of my tirade, I let loose the evidence I had of her cheating, and she did admit she had been sleeping with a guy while I was overseas. The guy hit on her at the train station, and she ended up fucking him at his place 6 times and going for a holiday with him where they fucked 8 minutes 10 times according to her. She claimed to feel guilt. Her excuse: I felt lonely, plus I wanted a different sexual experience. She also claimed that she cut things off with him after I came back. She also confessed to using Tinder, but claims that she never slept with anyone else but him. I spent some time thinking things over and sat her down to make an ultimatum: to not go clubbing more than twice a month, and to inform me of the time she's going to come back, to attend couples marriage therapy to improve our marriage and address her desire to want to try multiple sexual partners, to have sex with me more often since we're married, to allow me unrestricted access to her phone, to give me reassurance that she's not cheating. I positioned these pointers as a means to win back my trust in this relationship, or we would have to end it. After 2 hours of deliberation on her part, she agreed to my pointers to stay in the relationship, but now has become angry and resentful at me because I am lousy at this relationship. I really don't know what to do with this woman. I love her a lot, and I've spent so much time caring for her emotional issues and helping her through her eating disorder. Visited her every day when she was warded at the start of our relationship. But now it feels like she's just keeping me around because I'm useful. Edit. Alright, I've laid down my request for openness and honesty from her, and she has come clean. She had sex with 16 guys while I was away and even after I came back, all off Tinder. She admits there's something seriously wrong with her and we are going to see a counselor. Doubt this is gonna work. Comments. 1. Annulment may be your best choice right now. At the very least, a full STD screening for both of you. Her unwillingness to do the work for her months-long affair suggests she's not capable of maintaining trust in a stable marriage. You need to take steps to improve your self-worth. 2. She's 28. There are teens more mature and responsible than your wife. Do you think it's going to get better? According to the information you provide, the answer is no. Cheats, treats you like shit, goes clubbing, and that's assuming that all she's doing is hanging out with friends and not trying to meet new people to hook up with, or grinding on random guys. Then on top of everything, she's upset that she can't continue her shitty behavior. Here's what you do: divorce. Don't tell her anything. Just gather all the evidence, see a lawyer, and separate finances. Keep everything to yourself until you have the papers to give her. She's 28. At this point, you divorcing her would be the event in her life that would get her to change her ways. And that's a maybe. You may be afraid of being alone at 30, but another way to look at it is that you can be in your late 30s with kids and still needing to divorce her. 3. Alright, I've laid down my request for openness and honesty from her, and she has come clean. She had sex with 16 guys while I was away and even after I came back, All off Tinder. She admits there's something seriously wrong with her and we are going to see a counselor. Doubt this is gonna work. 4. Your wife needs to grow up before she can be any kind of relationship. I would not spend one more moment of my time on her, except to tell her to get therapy to work on herself. Who knows what kind of crap she'll pull next, based on her next whim. Based on the length of your marriage, you might be able to get an annulment, which should be easier than a divorce. Get away from her and never look back. 5. It's bad enough she cheated, but with 16 men that you know of, she's a liar and cheater. This is not love. This is a torture chamber and she's in control, not you. She's making you look like a major ding-dong and you are a nice guy. She deserves a swift and clean ghosting or a swift and clean divorce, or a swift and sweet revenge. A letter I wrote to my wife who cheated on me with my best friend. I'm not sure if I should send it to her. Stephanie, looking back on our 12 years, it was fun. It was passionate. We traveled to wherever we wanted and enjoyed our times there. We volunteered at the animal shelter and fostered pugs. You were my first love. Although we had good times, we had our problems, too. I had a hard time keeping a job. It's something I'm working on now. But I always provided. I found a way. I drank more than I wanted. I gained weight and was nowhere as near as healthy as you. I'm working on that, too. You had baggage that bled into our relationship from your family. I was always there for you for that. I even took your sister to rehab a couple of times. I talked you off the ledge when your dad struggled with drinking. I called out your mother when she would try to guilt trip you for any favor. After I lost my job with my dad, you wanted to work from home and I was more than happy to help with that. It's how you really got into cycling. We had our arguments and fights, so many fights. You threatening divorce was a common occurrence in our relationship. Please don't do that in with your future partner. We had a hard time communicating. I don't talk about my feelings a lot. I'm working on that. You were very emotional. I always told you I had a problem and I felt that you wore a mask on in public. Nobody wanted you to bring your problems out in the world. But if you're upset, you didn't have to walk around so bubbly. You didn't always have to appear happy. We are human. When I look back on our life together and I think of all of the good times, I can't but help to think you had another mask on. One that was always capable of doing what you did. It hurts because now all of the good times we have had have been reduced to nothing. A wasted decade. Except for one thing. When you gave birth to X. It was the happiest day of my life. You were so strong when you gave birth. I'm so thankful you were, or things may have turned out differently. You helped give me a gorgeous son. The happiest baby I have ever seen and the cutest. He's smart and curious and carefree. I hope he stays that way. You said it yourself. This won't define you forever, but it will always be a part of you. It'll always be a part of me. Deep down you know that if you can do what you did to me, you will know that someone else can, too. I hope it doesn't haunt you. I hope you don't worry about who he's texting, why he's late, who he's talking to, why he's in a better mood than normal, why he likes a song so much, why he's angry with you more frequently. I hope you never have to experience what I did. It really is the worst thing I've ever experienced. I was always the most trusting of you that I could ever be. Him, too. I never applied boundaries to who you could see or talk to. I always thought that was the foundation of a healthy relationship. I would like to say that I wish this never happened, but I'm glad to see what's behind the mask, who you are and what you are truly capable of. I would have hated to live a lie, believing you were honest, trusting, and that you actually cared about me. I think what hurts the most is that I always thought we were a team. Good or bad, at the end of the day we would never hurt one another. We had our ups and our downs, but I always saw us in this life together, always there for each other when shit hit the fan. I never thought this is how it would end. You took my wife. You took my friend. You confused our son. You took my house. My neighbors. You abandoned my family. You disappointed yours. You tarnished your reputation. You put a divide between us that didn't need to be there. You took my ability to trust, my ability to see the good in people. You took my life. And for that, I will never forgive you, but I'll build a new life. I'm working on that. Someday X will figure all of this out on his own. What you did to his father, the man he loves most in this world, you'll still be his mother. But he will know what you're capable of. It won't define you, but it'll be a badge that you'll have to wear forever. Things could have been different. We could have separated like many adults do. X could see his mother and father in an amicable relationship. They could still enjoy each other's company around one another. They could still do things as a family. But you chose the alternative. You took that from him and me. I wanted to write this because I needed to put it down on paper for myself. It is a clear reflection of what I think of all of this. I will always love you because X does. But what you did disappointed so many people, including myself. For somebody that always had a good head on her shoulders, you really surprised everyone. I hope I'm the future you consider others before you do what you want for yourself. You didn't just hurt me. You hurt yourself, your dad, mother, My family, your friends. I hope you can get back to the happy and caring person you were when we first met. The one who had to cover her eyes when we passed a dog that had been hit by a car on the road. Leave out all the rest. Top 5 comments. 1. No, do not send. My thought is any women tacky enough to sleep with your best friend and leave you for him doesn't value your feelings on anything. It will give her shivers of delight to be so central to you. Anything you say to her will not change anything. And it certainly won't make her regret what she did. 2. It's a beautiful, very emotional letter that just goes to show how much you can love another human being, even when they're flawed to their core. However, I wouldn't send it, for different reasons. 1. She doesn't deserve such loving and emotional words after what she did to you. 2. Your letter will undoubtedly feed her ego. 3. She will probably not answer it given how twisted her head is. I did send my letters, but all of them went unanswered. Don't bother, you're nothing to her. Make her feel the same. Having said all of this, ultimately the choice is yours and you need to do what makes you feel the best. Good luck, my friend. 3. Never show emotion, beg, appease, or plead. It puts her in the control position, you in the submissive position. Walk away, strict no contact. Block her on all social media. Improve you physically, mentally, financially. Show off a little spending power, new car, jewelry, trips, etc. Post it on social media. Trust me, she will look. If you see her, support her choice, and if you two need to make contact, there's an email she probably has of yours. Never contact her. This will give the appearances of you moving on, that you have choices, and that you are simply improving your life. It is also a great way to get some form of harmless revenge. Prove to her she made a bad choice by making your life as awesome as possible. 4. I love this. It's well written and it's raw, but I agree with the people who are saying do not send this. Keep it for yourself. If it helps, since you said you needed it on paper, and if not, let the word, but just that, words on paper, and get rid of it. Get rid of the toxicity. You'll get through it. Keep your head up and keep being the father your son adores. 5. At first I would have sent it just to get weight of your shoulders and wipe your hands clean. But I how she react, if she react at all. Who knows, she might try to come crawling back, but don't let her. It up to you whether you send it or not. It your decision.